I lost a friend to suicide in 2022. So it's been kind of a bittersweet year. I lost a friend to suicide in 2022. And in those times of trying to cope with the emotions or deal with the situation, my wife was really the one that encouraged me to just go write it down. I've been a songwriter for 12 years, and that's kind of how I get things out, is through music. So she encouraged me just to go back to my writing desk and write something down. And when I got back there and sat down and got quiet and still, I just kept hearing this phrase over and over in my head that, you know, what would I have said had I been sitting right next to her right before this happened? And, you know, heaven doesn't need you right now is the phrase that kept popping up into my head, is heaven doesn't need you right now. And obviously writing country music, you can't be that grammatically correct when you write. So the phrase heaven don't need you yet is what I wrote at the top of the piece of paper. And I can remember once I wrote that down, the thoughts for the song just arrived. I tell people all the time, I feel like it was God-given for sure. I don't think that I would ever have been able to write anything like this in the positive light that it's projected on my own. I definitely had some help. So I just kept writing and my hand just kept moving. And so about 36 minutes later, I had these lyrics laid out. And so I grabbed my guitar and I just kind of started playing and trying to figure out a melody that would present the same type of feeling of hope and light in the darkness with the lyrics that I had written down. And once I got the melody locked in, I went in and I played it for my wife, and man, she just lost it. And so I knew I had something there. So I knew there was some emotion behind it, because that's the place that it came from. It came from a very personal place for me. And then I just kind of sat on it because I wasn't really sure what to do with it after the fact, after I'd written it. So I was sitting at soccer practice for my then 10-year-old, and I really felt the Lord speak to me and say, listen, this is a great song, but it's not for you. And that kind of threw me for a loop, because I really wasn't sure why I even wrote it. If it wasn't for me to kind of cope with the emotions that I was feeling, you know, under the circumstances, then what was it for and who is it for? So then my next question was, now what? And so social media just popped into my head. It's obvious that that's such a huge platform to reach the most amount of people right now. So a buddy of mine, Will Padgett, who I write with in Nashville quite a bit, is somebody that I trust and somebody that, you know, I've written a lot of great songs with. And so I sent the lyric over to him and the melody, and I said, hey, do you think we could create this work tape out of this song? And so we did. We went to his studio, and so a work tape is basically an acoustic vocal, and we added some piano and some stuff in the background to it. And so at one of the soccer practices, I decided to just post a short clip of me sitting in the car listening to this work tape. And I only did, I think, maybe a verse and a chorus of the song. And I put it out there just to kind of see what would happen. And, you know, by the time I had gotten home from soccer that night, the video had gotten over 1,000 views. Then I wake up the next morning and it's 2,000. And then by that afternoon, it's 3. And so it just kept growing and growing and growing. And so finally I just thought, okay, you're right. This was not for me. And I guess just my ignorance and not knowing how many people this subject really impacts. And so then it got to the point where I felt like I was being called to do something bigger with it. So now what? So what's next? So I sent it to a few producers in Nashville that I've worked with in the past, and got a call back very quickly from one that I've worked with. And in the music business, that's pretty rare that you get called that quickly for something. But, you know, he explained to me that somebody from his church, one of the men in his church, had just lost their daughter to suicide a few days before I sent him this work tape. So he was very adamant that this needed to be done. So we got in the studio and we recorded this song, and I was very curious as to who he had in mind to cut the vocal on it. He said, well, I'm not sure. What do you mean? Who do I have in mind to cut the vocal? He said, I think you should do it. And of course, I was a tour drummer for several years, and I'm always used to hiding behind things and not being the person out front. And he said, man, this is a little too personal for us to put out there in the pitch world of, hey, who do we think can record this song, or who do we want to send this song to? So he convinced me to do the vocal on my own. So we got in there one October afternoon and recorded the vocal. And when I say he got out of me something that I never thought could come out of me vocally is an understatement.
Heaven don't need you yet. They got enough saints right now. Let's write them, arrange it, and try to forget what's weighing you down.
So when I heard the track and the things that Jason and Elliot were able to combine together to create this sound of hope and this sound of light was incredible. And we got the masters back around December, released it as an official single in January of this year. And I say this has been a bittersweet year because of the loss, but also because of the beauty that has come from the ashes. I've been able to create this song and release this song as a platform to be able to go out and speak to people about suicide prevention and to share this message of hope with people that may be in the worst possible situation that they've ever been in. So it's afforded me a lot of opportunities to be able to share this message. And like I said, we released it January 27th of this year. Put it out on all the streaming platforms just to kind of see what response we would get. And I've been able to go back and perform this song for a lot of different organizations. American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, I was able to play it there. Middle Tennessee fundraiser event that they had in Nashville back in May. And just countless more opportunities. So now we are looking to create a visual to this song. And I think once you hear the song, you'll understand how it lends itself to a visual. So we want to create this almost short film. It's not necessarily a music video. It's not something that you would perceive as me standing in front of on stage and musicians behind me playing this song. I'm not even in it. We want to make sure that we maintain the integrity and the intention of this message. And so we want to create a story, and we're looking for partners to come on board with us, whether if it's a church or a school or your business, or if it's you personally that have been impacted by suicide. We want you to be able to come on board with us and help fund this project and get it moving forward, and then just release it back into society and release it back into places, into mental health organizations. We want to send it out to the state of Tennessee Mental Health Department, to recovery centers, so that they have a resource to be able to use to help people that are, potentially on the verge of making that same decision. So where we're looking for people that want to be a partner with us to help impact lives and to help save lives, to convince people that you've got a lot of life to live. You've even got love to give, whether you think you do or not. And so we're asking people to come on board and to help us out. The Westbury House out of Nashville, Tennessee, is the project manager for this video, and we'll provide links to be able to send gifts to them, whatever you feel like in your heart that you can help with. And I would even be willing to come to your church or to come to your school or to come to your organization and talk to the people that you serve and share the song with them and play the song for you. And I really feel called to do this. I feel like it's something that I've got to do. And so I'm just hoping there's people out there that feel the same way and that we can get some support and get this thing moving, because this song is a message of hope. It is a message of light, and it has already changed lives. I've heard countless stories of people on oil rigs in Texas that felt like all they did was go to work and come home every day, and they were just there as a number to make somebody else money, and they didn't feel like that their life was very meaningful. And somehow this song got to them, and they've reached out to me and just said, hey, this song has impacted me, and it has definitely changed my mindset on where I was and where I am today. So I would encourage you to listen to the song. It's Heaven Don't Need You Yet by Tosh Newman. It's available on all the streaming platforms. We've even got a little lyric video up on YouTube that you can check out. But I think once you hear the song, you'll hear the message that's behind it. And so I would really appreciate, and I'm very thankful for everybody that's already helped out so far. But come on board with us and let's get this thing done, and let's start changing that statistic, whether it's high schoolers, whether it's veterans, whether it's, just your person that you would least expect, your business person or your person that is dealing with, depression and anxiety, but is still able to put that happy face on in front of everybody else. A lot of times it's those people that we least expect. So let's do everything that we can to reach those people, and I hope you'll join us.
Heaven don't need you yet. They got enough saints right now. Let's write them a rain check and try to forget what's weighing you down. You got a lot of life to live and a lot more